Hello and welcome back, everyone. In this video, we'll be covering the basics of Metatrader 5, basically how to sell, how to buy, how to close your position, how to set your stop losses, how to set your take profits, and things like that. So let's get straight into it. Firstly, so if you're trading with AFX, of course, we usually trade gold. So in order to get gold on your chart, what you're going to do is you're going to go to quotes, here bottom left. That is what you're going to be doing first. And then in order to get gold, you're going to search here. If you guys can just see there, the magnifying glass top right, you're going to go ahead and click on it. You're going to search gold, which is XAUUSD. XAUUSD. I already have it there for me because I already been using the chart to show you guys these examples and things like that. So then what you're going to do is all you're going to have to do is click on gold from there to be added to your charts. Then click there, click chart, and then voila, you now have gold. So now as you guys can see on my screen, I already have the sell and buy options, but you guys won't have that yet unless you do what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and take it away first before I explain to you guys how to get it onto your charts. So, okay. If you guys can just look for me top right, you'd see that there is like a red and blue kind of a magnet thingy there, top right. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it now, and then those sell and buy options will now pop up. So now you guys are probably thinking now, how do we sell? How do we buy? Now you know. All you're gonna have to do is click on either the sell button, or if you want to sell, or if you want to buy, you're gonna go ahead and click on the buy button. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the buy button now. So example, nice. I think I opened two by mistake there. Double click if I can just close it here. There we go. So now as you guys can see, I got placed into a buy position. It says there buy 0.01. It's this dotted blue line over here. Over here. So now what is the most important thing when we enter these trades? It's of course gonna be our stop loss. Our stop loss is basically how much we'll be risking in our trade, and it's how we protect our funds, and which is very important to stay in this game as long as possible. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and set the stop loss now. So the way we set our stop loss is all we're gonna have to do is click on this blue dotted line, and then these options here at the bottom will pop up. If you guys see there at the bottom, there's a red circle. It says SL, which stands for stop loss. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that red circle now, and then this line will now pop up. So now in order to place your stop loss, you're first gonna position it where you want to. I'm just gonna position it over here at 5050. Just a random placement. And now, as you guys can see there at the bottom, there's also a blue arrow. In order to confirm this line, basically, all we're gonna have to do is click on that blue arrow, and then click modify after that, and then your line will now be set. So what would happen now if market were, for example, to come to that stop loss line? Basically, your trade will be closed automatically, and it will, let's see what our loss is set at. We have a 400 rand stop loss over there. So let's say market were to go to that stop loss, you'd come out of this trade with a minus 400. So now, onto take profit. So just like the stop loss line, we have a take profit line, but instead of a loss, it will be, of course, what you were taking out of the trade. It will be a profit. So now, just like the stop loss, you're going to go ahead and click on your blue line again. But now, instead of the stop loss line, if you guys can see next to the stop loss, there's a green circle that says TP, which stands for take profit. That is what we use to place our take profit line. I'm going to go ahead and click on that green circle now. And now our take profit line has popped up. You can just go ahead and place this at 5,100. It's a 400 Rand TP, basically a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio here. Just like the stop loss, you're going to click that blue arrow again and then modify. And then bang, your TP should now be set. So just like the stop loss, if market were to come to that line, your trade will automatically close. There's also other ways to close your trade, like manually. I'll show you guys that right now. There's many ways you can close your trade, but let me go through the one that I usually use. So in order to close your trade, you can go back to this middle bar here that says trade there at the bottom. It says trade there at the bottom. You can click on it. And then if you guys look above the 60 rand profit that we're currently running in, there is 3 dots. Just gonna give you guys some time to find the 3 dots. I'm not speaking about the profit on top. I'm speaking about the one here at the bottom that's currently running here. So there's the 3 dots. I'm gonna go ahead and click on those 3 dots now, and then bulk operations is gonna come up, and then these 3 options will be there. So now you have the option to close all your positions, close all profitable positions. We only have one position open, and there's an option to cancel to basically go back. So in order to close your trade, it's simple. You're gonna click on close all positions, and then your trade will be closed. And just like that, the trade has now closed. But let's say we're in multiple positions. Maybe if I can just open a few positions here for you guys. Maybe you just want to close one position. What you're gonna do is you're gonna hold on the position that you want to close, and then as it says there, close position, you can now click on close position, and then if you guys can see there at the bottom, it says close by 0.01 by market with loss, and then there's the amount. You're gonna go ahead and click on that, and that is another way to close your trade basically. And then there's a final way that you can close it. If you click on your buy line once again, also have the option to close there. I clicked on the line, and all I did now was scroll down, and then if you guys can see there, there's the option once again to close the trade. I'm gonna go ahead now and click on close by 0.01, and boom, our trade has now been closed. If you guys can see, or if you guys are wondering what the 0.01 is, it's basically the size of our trade. If you want to up the size of your trade, you're gonna go over to your 0.2s, 0.03s, and in order to do that, if you guys can see next to the 0.01, there's an arrow that shows up and there's an arrow that shows down. In order to up the lot size, of course, you're gonna click on the arrow that's going up, and then these options will pop up. You're of course gonna do plus 0.01, and then now it has now been, and it's now went from a 0.01 over to a 0.02. Gonna go ahead and put in the position there. Now, as you guys can see, we now have a 0.02 running here. So now I'm gonna show you guys how to set what we call a buy or a sell limit. So now, firstly, just gonna go ahead and close this trade. Firstly, what are these limits, and how can we basically use it to our advantage? Let's say you are maybe a busy person, but you are in our signal group, and maybe, for example, Azim maybe sees a nice zone for you guys where he thinks market will maybe give a reaction or things like that, and then he tell you set these limits, for example. So let's say you're a busy person, and Azim just told you now he wants you to set the limit at a certain place, or he wants you to look out for a certain zone. So now if you want to buy or sell at the certain zone, but market isn't there yet, but you don't have time to look at the charts and things like that, all you're gonna have to do is, if you guys just look there top right, there's a clock next to the magnet that I was speaking about. There's a red and blue clock. You're gonna click on the clock, and then these options will pop up once again. So now we're gonna choose the buy limit here at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and click on buy limit, and now we have our buy limit right here. So now, let's say the position of our chart is now at 5 or 80, but maybe a buy was sent in the range of 5 or 5.8, but you don't have time to wait for the charts or watch it, and you think you might miss it. What you can do is you can set your limit, just like how you set the stop loss. You're going to click the blue arrow again. You're going to click place buy limit, and then your buy limit will now be placed. Just like any other trade, you can still set your stop loss. You're going to place it there at a random place. You can still set your take profit. Go ahead and put that over there. And now just like the TP and just like the SL, when market comes to that limit, you'd be put into a trade. You'd be put into your buy, And then, just like how it is with your normal position, you either get taken out of the stop loss or you take profit. Or if you decide to exit manually, that is another way out of your trade. Show you guys now how to set a sell limit. If I can just go ahead and delete this limit now, you guys can delete the limit over here. You can hold on it, click delete, and as simple as that, your order will be gone. Gonna go ahead and click on the clock again. And if you guys can just look over there next to the buy limit, there's what we have. There's what we call our sell limit. So that is of course for the sell. Same way you set the buy. Click on the blue arrow, place the sell limit, stop loss and things. And uh, just place the sell, the stop loss, TP, and then there we go. So now, like I said, once again, if market reaches that point, you'd automatically be put in a trade, and your stop losses take profit works exactly the same. A little bit more on lot size once again. If you're trading 500 Rand with us and taking in our signals as a beginner, I advise you guys to use a 0.01 lot size when trading a 500 Rand. And anything above that, if you maybe make some profits, get to maybe 1,000 Rand, you can start using your 0.02. But if you're trading USA 100, in other words, NASDAQ or US 30, you can trade with a 0.10 because it's basically the equivalent to, you can must say, a 0.01 on gold. That is if you have a 500 Rand. Same way, if you get to 1,000 Rand, you can up to a 0.20 on your US 30s and your USA 100s, other words, NASDAQ. I think that concludes this session, and I'll see you guys in the next one.